So that's the aftermath of the front tire on the dump truck. So as you can see, it's still round, and just the tread part just ripped off. So the whole tread just got ripped right off, as you can see. Now, from what I understand, now I'm not a tire expert, but especially not with trucks, anyways. But from what I understand, and it seems from what I can see, this tire was retreaded. And if it's a respectable place, then I guess they can do a good job. But it seems that it's looking more and more like whoever retreaded this tire did a really bad job. So if you look closely, here's the normal tire with the all steel braids. And then over here you can see what looks like a bunch of glue. So there's a clear line right there. It seems like this is just a bunch of glue. Well, it's not actually glue, but it's kind of like glue, and then it gets re-vulcanized. And it looks like right there, that right there was a point of rupture. These things are nasty, by the way. Don't try to throw up with your hand. Now, like I said, I'm not an expert, so I didn't know, and I still don't yet know if you can tell that a tire has been retreaded just by looking at it, or just by doing like a sound test. You can see that this glue-like surface goes maybe that width all around the top. It doesn't seem to be on the other side. Or maybe it is. Anyways. Now I've spoken, this is the other tire from the truck. From the other truck, the white truck. And I've spoken to somebody, and they said, this guy I know, he said that you can tell that the tire has been re-grooved by this deeper line. Now again, I'm not 100% sure about this, and like outwardly the tire looks perfect. The grooves are deep enough, but this is just more like food for thought and just an initial investigation. So don't really take anything I say for granted or to the letter. Now, the other thing I should mention is sometimes people can get the tires the wrong size. Now, if it's just a car, if it's just a regular passenger vehicle, and you have two different tires, two same tires, a pair of tires in the back, and then a different size, or should I say a different diameter size pair of tires in the front, that's not really a big deal. It's not a big deal. If you have each tire a different diameter, then that would be pretty bad. You'd get a very rough ride, but it would just wear out the tires. And the reason I say diameter is because the diameter is actually going to influence the height of the car, and it will actually angle the car. The width won't influence that at all. It'll influence the grip and the traction on the road, but not the height and the angle that the car stands off. So if, let's say, you got a really tall tire on one side, and then on the other side you've got a small tire, then your car is going to be at an angle. Now with the truck, I checked both these tires, and they were the same diameter in front. They were the exact same number. These are Goodyear tires, by the way, so they should. It's a pretty well-known brand. Like, for those of you that believe in brands, there you go, Goodyear. But with the big dump truck, what I'm thinking is if you have tires with too big of a diameter in front, then it'll tend to lift off, lift the front more, and lift the rear tires off the ground, therefore putting all the weight of the truck more on the front tires. And perhaps that could be pretty bad. But again, I don't know how much, like to what extent you'd need to have the difference in diameter for it to cause a huge effect or any effect. Again, just something to think about. We'll have to do a bit more research and figure out what exactly happened and try to prevent this from happening again. Now, fortunately, I didn't really talk about what it felt like. And again, so I'll just say it here, there wasn't an explosion. So I was driving and I started to hear all of a sudden like, fra, 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 fra. It's like flopping sound. And then I started to see pieces of rubber flying off, and right away I could tell that was just a tire. Now, the steering, it was a little bit, it started to swerve a little bit, but not too much. It really wasn't anything horrible. And I guess that could be different. And I was going pretty fast. So maybe I guess that could be different. The tire were to actually blow up and cause an explosion. This here, it wasn't bad. I actually just kept driving it for a bit. So that's the other thing. If you puncture a tire, like a big hole on it, or there's a weak spot, it'll actually blow up and it'll actually explode all at once, like boom, and it's gone. Now, if you have a smaller hole, it'll actually start to deflate the tire really quickly, and then with the tire being deflated, it starts to deform the tire, right? So in this case, if the tire was blowing up, or rather, it's just literally disintegrated. That's the word. The tire just literally disintegrated. And it took a few seconds for that to happen. I'm going to say maybe 5 or 6, maybe 5 to 7 seconds in total. So it's quite a bit more time, fortunately. Hell of a rim, by the way. So I guess pending further investigation.